It's a cold and rainy day today, which is perfect for what I'm going to prepare. And what is that? Smoked mini meatloaves with barbecue bacon jam. All right, in the bowl here I have 1.5 pounds of 80/20 ground beef, and to this I'm going to add 2/3 of a pound of a mild Italian sausage. The spice mixture I'm going to be adding to this today is 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a teaspoon of granulated garlic, and a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm also going to be adding 1 egg that's been beaten. I'm also adding a couple tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Today I'm going to be using some Bob's Smokin' Southern barbecue sauce. It's their spicy dipping in barbecue sauce. Just a couple tablespoons in here. We're going to get in here and mix this up, and then we'll decide if we need to add some breadcrumbs. Take your time here and make sure everything gets incorporated. I like to pull in from the sides, fold it in, mush it all together. Use your favorite method. I'm going to add just a little bit of breadcrumbs, maybe a couple tablespoons. Just work that in here. Now, this is my mix, my recipe here. You can add other things you want. If you want to add tomato paste, if you want to add ketchup, anything you like, go ahead, flavor it to your own taste. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's start forming our mini meatloaves. So I want to take my meatloaf mixture out of the bowl, transfer it onto this piece of parchment paper. All I'm going to do is start forming it into a rough, rectangular loaf shape. Because I'm going to divide this into 3 mini meatloaves. I'm going to take my knife here and I'm going to eyeball this. I'm going to take each individual meatloaf and just sort of work it a little bit. Just kind of try and hide those cut lines that we made. Work it a little bit. So those are roughly what I want. They're not identical, but they're roughly the same size. Now I just want to glaze these with a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'm going to be using the same barbecue sauce that I used on the mixture of the meat, the Bob's Smokin' Southern barbecue sauce. Just going to put a little bit on the top of each one. I'm just going to take my brush and work it over the outside. We don't want a lot on here. This is just to get it started. All right, these are going to go in the refrigerator for about an hour, and then we're going to get them out to the Weber Kettle. I've got a slight break in the rain here, and as you can see, I have my ThermoPro transmitting unit inside a Ziploc bag to keep from getting wet while this rain is just blowing in from the side. So in this little interlude, we're going to get these mini meatloaves on. You can see the kettle's at 266, 268 now it looks like. And the vents are fully open. I'm not playing with the vents at all today because it is just so cold, windy, and wet. The vents are going to stay fully open, both top and bottom. Let me show you how I got it set up. So I have the kettle zone system in the Weber Kettle right now with 1 deflector plate and 1 cooking grate. That's all I need. All right, I'm going to put a grilling mat down here. This is rated for indirect, not direct, so if you get these, don't put them directly over the coals. They're just for this. And this will make it much easier with those meatloaves resting on here, not falling through the grate. Just gonna start placing my meatloaves here. These little mini meatloaves. Get my internal temperature probe in this one right here, just going for as close to the center as we can get. We'll be checking it with the instant read. I'm going to get a piece of wood on these coals, and this is post oak I'm going to be using. It's a little bit damp on the outside. The rain blew in on it, but the rest of it is seasoned well. Just want to arrange my coals a little bit here. Distribute them. I want to keep most of them under the diffuser plate there. All right, our piece of post oak is catching. Let's Let's go ahead and get our lid on and start smoking these mini meatloafs. I'm going to be taking these mini meatloafs today to 165 degrees internal. It's got ground pork in there and that Italian sausage, so that's the safe zone, 160 to 165. I'll take it fully to 165. For the kettle temps, like I said, I'm leaving both top and bottom vents fully open. I'm guessing we're going to be somewhere in the 250 to 300 range most of the time. So let's let these smoke and we'll come back when it's just about 160 to 165. All right, it's perfect timing. It looks like we just hit 160 degrees internal on these mini meatloafs, and it looks like the rain is just about to start again. I'm under my covered patio, but with the wind, it's been blowing it under here. So let's check these and hopefully get them off of here. Wow, those look good. They smell good too, but they're just gorgeous. Great color on those. I'm just gonna take my instant read and check this one at the end here. This one's showing a few degrees lower, so I'm gonna let these go for about, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 more minutes. Let's get our lid back on and keep them smoking. All right, it has been about 10 minutes and the rain has started. Oh, looking nice. Let me check this one again. There we are. 161.1. All right, we are good. I'm gonna go ahead and get these off, get them inside. We're gonna have a taste with some of that bacon jam. All right, here is one of our mini meatloafs. The color on it, I hope you can see through the camera, is just really nice, really beautiful. I only glazed this once before it even went on the kettle, and that color took, and with that smoke, you just get beautiful, beautiful color on the outside. I find especially of a ground meat dish like this. So let's go ahead and cut in. Now this is not gonna be, medium rare or anything inside. This is gonna be cooked. But I wanna get a nice little slice here to put some of our barbecue bacon jam on. Oh, look at that. Nice. Nice and juicy. I don't always like pushing and squeezing the juice out, but every once in a while you like to see it. Beautiful. All right, let me get a slice here. And these mini meatloafs are perfect when you're serving a family. You don't have to make one big slab. You can make one for every 1 or 2 people depending on how hungry they are. Oh, look at that, just nice density in there, not overpacked. And now let's get some of this barbecue bacon jam on that slice. This barbecue bacon jam is homemade. I did a video on it the other day. I'll put a link in the description to that video and up here. Super easy to make, and let me tell you, when you taste this, you're gonna wanna make like a gallon of it. So let's put some right on top of our slice of meatloaf there. All I've got left to say now is, it's time to taste. One of the things I like about smoking things like meatballs and hamburgers and meatloaf is the smoke flavor and the smoke scent that is just covering this piece of meat is coming off. I can smell this, that post oak. Let's see. Let me say first that bacon jam is amazing, but our smoked mini meatloafs are not getting lost under that flavor. They're complemented by it. And once again, I gotta say, man, that post oak, I didn't start using post oak much until last year, and it is one of my favorite things to use on beef, and it may be my favorite thing to use on ground meats. There's just something wonderful about it. The sweet, complex flavor of that bacon jam on top of this really nice mixture of meats, that mild Italian sausage, the 80-20 ground beef, simple spices in it, a little bit of barbecue sauce on the outside and inside. They go so well together, and this is one of those cold weather meals. It's raining today, it's cold outside. Inside though, I'm feeling pretty good. So if you're thinking about making meatloaf, 2 things. Don't think you always have to make it in one big loaf, and don't hesitate to try smoking it out on the kettle or on another smoker. You get amazing results, especially when you top it with something like this barbecue bacon jam.